early. Ni modo. I digress. The car god himself in the house, Charles McDavid. What's up, baby? Thanks for tuning in. AC Adam in the Mickey Ficky house. That's what I'm talking about. Russell Webster here. Black Diamond in the Mickey Ficky house. That's what I'm talking about. My Shawn Walls. Good morning, Papa. How you doing, baby? That's what I'm talking about. And Black, what are you talking about, Black Diamond? Said Twitter going crazy. Caleb's our guy because interviewing Kingsbury. What are your thoughts? I will tell you my thoughts. Good question. I will tell you, but not right now. Not right now. Later. Not right now. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. I can tell you this. I do know that more of the usual suspects are going to chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I know. That I know. Listen, I'm fired up, man. We got a guy. Listen, I got a guy. Okay. I'm from Chicago, man. I got a guy. I'm a Southsider. I got a guy. All right. He's going to join me for this first hour. I'm a little fired up about it. Just a little bit. All right. He's, see, I've told you guys before, I don't hide my, my experience. I've told you before, I enjoy talking to good football minds. Even if we disagree, listen, there are different philosophies, offense, defense, special teams. All right. But I love talking to good football minds, people who know football. It's just that we can talk at a higher level. You know what I mean? For example, what is your vocation, your job, whatever your job is? When you talk with people who do your job, the conversations are different than if you're explaining it to your wife or your loved one or your kids, right? There's just more stuff that you guys know, right? Right. Well, this guy knows a lot of stuff. So he's going to be with me for the first hour. And, we'll get to top of the morning topics a little later because he only has an hour for me. So I want to be respectful of his time, but I also want to maximize his time. Kind of like I'm the new OC. I'm going to maximize his talent. Oh, sorry. Man, you've seen him. He's the host of Bears 360. Chicago born and bred. Living down in Georgia now. Coach T. Coach T, what's up, Papa? How are you, bro?
What's up, my guy? What's up, everybody in the chat? Let's go.
Man,
I'm always fired up to talk to you, Shawn.
Man, I see a Sox hat wearing.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, somebody asked me Cubs or Sox in the chat one day, and I said, listen, when you're out of the state and when you're down south living like I am, and I know y'all not gonna like this, but guess what? I rep both teams, whatever matches the outfit. I'm just not a baseball guy, Shawn. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
Listen,
okay.
I know what I know about football, but never ask me baseball questions. I know absolutely not. I'm just a color wearer. Whatever matches the fit that day, that's what we doing.
Hey, break out Ice Cube's colors. Chuka, colors.
Exactly.
Colors.
I'm banging over here. Whatever colors we wear, that's what we do.
Oh my goodness, that's dope, man. Well, hey, you know what? I appreciate you taking time out this morning, especially the last minute request that I had for you. Because
always got you,
man, it was hilarious. I couldn't get over it, dude. The dude texted me. We were texting since last week, and we were supposed to. He's like Wednesday or Friday. I asked him. He's like, we'll do Friday. I'm like, all right, cool. So I texted him yesterday, like, hey, to give me your number because we were on Twitter. He'd been on before, but I had him just through Twitter. And I was like, give me your number and everything. I said, I'll send you the link. And then he's like, all right, cool. I should be home around 7 p.m. I was like, 7 p.m.? You do know it's Shawn and Maya in the morning, right?
Yeah, you got that morning part, right?
Morning part, right? He's like, oh, yeah, I know, but I can't do it in the morning. I'm like, well, what did you think I wanted you on? When I'm not doing the show?
Shawn and Maya at night.
When I'm not doing the show, I wanted you on? Like, come on, Papa. Like, some common sense. I'm like, oh, and I got that this morning at 4:00 when I got just getting ready to shovel. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Right before the CrossFit, I was like, oh man, Lord have mercy. But anyway,
you know that's the business, man. Welcome to the business. If y'all thinking about getting this game, y'all think it's easy. You know what I'm saying? Let me know after your first year.
It's about handling problems and making relationships. Like I was able to call you and and you said, hey, no problem. And, man, it was like 30 seconds later, like, yeah. I'm like, whew, thank you so much.
Heavy on the relationship part, bro. Heavy on the relationship part.
So I appreciate it. But let's see who else. Oh, Black Diamond, Luis Mejia, my man in the Mickey Ficky house. Luis, good morning, Papa. Rise and grind. Man, we got a lot of people in the chat. I'm excited about it.
We're gonna a lot of the usual suspects, man.
Yes.
I like that. AC in the building, Cornelius in the building. I see y'all, Black Diamond.
Yes. Well, let's get to talking a little bit about it. All right. Man. People are, the Bears have expanded their head coaching. They expanded their offensive coordinator search. Mm-hmm. All right. They've had a few people in the building already. Excuse me. Pardon me. They've had a few people in the building already. All right. They've Shane Waldron, Seahawks offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, former Vikings offensive coordinator, Greg Olson, not the tight end who's the announcer, but he was a former Rams, Lions, and Bucks Raiders OC, Liam Cohen, former Rams OC, Greg Roman, who's one of my favorite guys, former Ravens OC, San Francisco 49ers OC, Thomas Brown from the Panthers, he was the OC, Marcus Brady as well. And then a new contestant has come from the ashes. And that's a guy that very, very, very controversial. Most of those guys that I mentioned, they're pretty much from the Sean McVay, Shanahan tree. Okay, this guy's not. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. This guy is not. Cliff Kingsbury's from the air raid system, where they threw it like 700 times. And your thoughts, first and foremost. It was out of the league. Remember, he was the coach of the Arizona Cardinals. And then he was out of the league last year, and USC signed him as an analyst, an offensive analyst. And that's what people are doing. Like we talked about relationships, like me being able to call you like, hey, that's what other guys are doing. Like, hey, I'm out of the league. Let me,
bro.
Hey, like
I need a job.
Yeah, literally. And like, hey, come on, I got you as an analyst. Yeah, no problem. Come on, we'll give you, 6 figures, whatever, and continue your lifestyle, and boom, and that's it. So he was an analyst, an offensive analyst at USC last year, working with Caleb. Give me your thoughts on that, because Caleb regressed a little last year, numbers-wise, for all the stat people who want to say, but the numbers say this and the numbers say that. Give me your thoughts on Cliff Kingsbury, working with him last year, but also as a potential OC here.
Yeah, I've seen a number of responses to Cliff getting that interview on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling this nowadays. In the spectrum of answers of what it could be about, varies from, hey, they're getting extra intelligence and they're gathering intelligence on Caleb Williams, about a potential drafting him and selecting him with that first overall pick. And there's the perspective that, hey, this is a legit, interview. And we're trying to see, we're trying to match Caleb Williams potentially, or Justin Fields' air raid offense, So, and everywhere in between, right? And you have to take it all into consideration. Those that follow me on the channel know I did the Caleb Williams film session the other day. Lots of responses on that. Like the comment section is going crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine
Caleb Williams, man. It's gonna be volatile, right? But I think this right here is the best case scenario for Bears fans, right? And whether you like Caleb Williams or not, this is what I've always said. Regardless of what happens, we have to pair either of these quarterbacks with the best coordinator that fits them right now. So if we do get Caleb Williams, I would like somebody that comes from the pedigree that he's used to in the system he's used to playing with. That's going to be the shortest path for success for him in the NFL. He doesn't need to come into the NFL and try to transition immediately to a full field NFL progression read offense off the bat. Can he make those full field reads, you know what I'm saying, go through from 1 through 4? In the small sample size that it shows up on film, he can do it. But that's the problem with evaluating Caleb Williams and trying to label him as generational. You can't do that when you're comparing him to people like Joe Burrow and Andrew Luck, who did make those reads in college, and you can actually label them with generational. There's just not enough sample size to do that. So if you're going to do it, pair him with somebody like Cliff Kingsbury, Greg Roman, which, by the way, all the names that you called out that have been the recent interviews, I said this last night, they tend to lean themselves towards a more, zone read, power read, RPO game, guys that are played in those, call plays in those systems, which, you know what I'm saying, we gone from more of a Sean McVay heavy thing to now a, zone read, power read, RPO type of coordinator. So I like that they're doing their due diligence. I think it would be irresponsible for them not to do it. But yeah, I don't just match, you know what I'm saying? Match the socks with the outfit. That's all I care about.
You know what? And that makes sense. And you know what? And my stance, I'm pro Justin. All right. I just think he's gotten the short end of the stick here as far as coaching goes. And I'm adamant about it. I've been on my steps on the table, banging the table, for Justin. But I also understand that the possibility of them drafting Caleb it's a real one. All right, it's a real one. Okay, and as much as I would like them to take Justin, because I think with proper coaching, I think Justin is your generational quarterback. And it's funny because people are like, well, what have you seen? I'm like there's something that I can't qualify. I can't quantify it. Excuse me. All right. But when you're a coach, when you played football, as long as I played football for 30 years, I coached for 15 years. I got 45 seasons of football in me. We can see shit differently than people who aren't as experienced as us. Okay. And for me, you get him some coaching, coach, you get him a guy who works on it, who's belabors his footwork. He had to hop back. He'll hop back in. Yeah. You get a guy who focuses on the little thing and is detail oriented. Justin Fields will be a top 10 quarterback, hands down. Look what he's done to this point, despite the bad coaching. Look at all the good throws he has. And yes, he's got stuff to work on. Again, I've never, ever ducked the fact that he needs things to work on. But that's coaching. Players aren't going to develop themselves. They're not going to develop themselves. Okay, what I do wish Justin, or I hope Justin does. I hope he has a quarterback coach, because some of the things he does, okay, some of the things Justin does can kind of be worked out. You don't need your offensive coordinator per se. For example, your drops, okay, like your lazy ass drops. That has nothing to do with offensive coordinator. Get your ass back. Okay, you get your own quarterback coach. He's going to tell you the same thing. Get your ass back, period. And then the offensive coordinator reinforces that. Get your ass back. I need 1, 2, 3 throw. I had Coach T, I had a little clip last week on Wednesday, and it was like 4.5, 5 minutes of Justin Fields throws from the pocket. Yeah, and the thing that I told everybody was like, watch his feet. It's 1, 2, 3, bounce, throw. By bounce, I mean 1, 2, 3, gather step, and they throw. It's coming out quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, throw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bounce, throw. This is what he needs. I said, if you get an offensive coordinator who focuses on that with him and saying, I need this all the time, and is on him day in and day out, I'm like, Justin's going to be a top 10 quarterback, hands down. Your thoughts on coaching for this kid, for this young man, Justin Fields?
Yeah, no, I saw that tweet and I saw that post out there, and I couldn't agree with you more, right? It's all about attention to detail with the offensive coordinator, right? So if you're in a system that doesn't focus on the details, and you don't have people coaching you to the details, especially in the pass game, you can tell when the pass game is lazy, right? Because it doesn't require you to be at a specific depth in your drop at a specific time.
Mhm.
Like, all the people that talk about, slow kick, slow drop steps, they only watch the live broadcast of the game. If you watch a lot of these route concepts, even the routes themselves, they don't seem to have any they don't seem to be filled with purpose and attention, right? It's just like, hey, we just run into a spot and turning around, right? And there's no coaching of the details out there. So you need a guy that's going to be he's going to be on everybody's ass about being on their specific targets and points.
Yeah, their marks. Yeah.
Details have to be there. That's part of the job, right? And that's probably why your boy is in the unemployment line today.
My boy.
That's your guy. It's like your kids, right? When your kids act up, they the other players' kids. That's
tell the wife, that's your son.
Yeah, that's your son.
And then when he gets an award for something, that's my boy.
That's my baby. That's how it goes, man.
But and to me, that's the thing, man, is coaching. And I was in a conversation with this idiot yesterday, and he said coaching. He said this thing, and I'm like, I already knew he was an idiot. All right, and I wasn't being disrespectful. I try not. I do my best not to get disrespectful on Twitter anymore, because I do. I used to get more disrespectful, years ago. But he said coaching can't stop talent. Cream always rises to the top. I said, the fact that you said this shows you have no idea about football, no idea about anything.
We can't have a conversation, bro.
Yeah, like at that point, like you. All right, thanks. Have a good one.
Employ the mute button. Deploy the mute now.
Yeah, thank you. And I told him that earlier in another tweet. I'm like, you should probably just sit this one out. Just stay on the sidelines. He's like, well, he's only 10-28. I'm like, the fact that you're throwing stats out at me, okay, shows that I can't have a literal football conversation with you. Yeah. And I overwhelmed him. And I said, do you understand the pass protection and route combos? Do you understand that they need to be married? And he's completely overlooked it. I'm like, see, you overlooked that question. So no, I said, so you're looking at it from one point of view. I'm looking at it from a deeper perspective. That's one that you don't get. I'm like, that's cool. Don't worry about it.
I heard your intro statement, right? And it's people think you're trying. People sometimes think we're punching down when we say stuff like this, and when we start talking about, hey, I like to have football conversations with football people, right? This is one of the benefits of why you get an immediate yes for me, right? When talking about being on the show, we can go in depth and talk about schematics and talk about coaching points, right? And it's always the case when we have these debates, at least with me on Twitter or X, have these debates with people, and you start asking detailed questions, they don't know the answer, they move the goalposts. But this is my favorite tactic, right? And I'm letting people know it's funny to me, but it's like, especially with the film work, Shawn, they say, well, I can't disprove what you're saying. So, but TJ O'Sullivan said this, or Tim Jennings said that, or Chase Daniel said that. And I'm like, bro, do you realize you're complimenting me because you just pull guys that's in the NFL in the conversation and using them as leverage to debate me?
Yeah, those are your weapons for me.
Yeah, come on, man. Like, I just gave up, man.
When you get people who regurgitate stuff, but what we got to do? We got to take a quick break. So on the other side of the break, hey, listen, we got another half hour with my man, Coach T. So don't go anywhere, folks. All right, keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Let's go.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
As Lambeau is rocking at the start. Here's Fields trying to break free. He does and picks up the first. They had him.
They need to step up today.
2nd and 6 on the bootleg. Planting, firing. Boy, he threaded that one. That was some pass to DJ Moore.
Doing it the right way.
Now on 1st down. He fakes it to Herbert. Throws, and again he connects. This time he's got St. Brown. 3rd and 5. 11th play of the drive. And there's Love in trouble. Wrapped up back at the 25-yard line. Here's Fields. And it's caught.
That was really well said right there. Made that simple.
1st and 10. Here is Moore. Oh, that was horse collar-like.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of CBS. Those are the Bears. Week 18 against that team from up north who shall remain nameless, who's playing my San Francisco 49ers. And before people jump on me, I've been a huge San Francisco 49er fan since the 80s. All right, Roger Craig was one of my idols. He was the first thousand running back, and he was one of the reasons I wore. The reason I wore 33 my entire career was this. My favorite player, obviously, is Walter Payton. And I'm like, I will never be as good as Walter Payton, so I can never wear 34. And, you know, back in the day growing up, like, you remember you'd wear guys' numbers and you'd be like, I'm him, I'm Walter Payton, you know what I mean? That's what you do. You play in the street, you wear a jersey, you know what I'm saying? Cool. I'm like, yeah, I'll never be as good as him. So I'll take a number less than him. So I'm like, okay, what are the running backs? What good running backs are wearing 33? Hell, Marcus Allen, all right, when he was at USC, was 33. Tony Dorsett was 33. I was like, oh, okay. And Roger Craig ended up becoming was 33. So, and I liked his style, so he was one of my favorites. So I've been a 49er fan since. If the Bears didn't win it, I wanted the Niners to win it, period. So I've been, man, Roger Craig was my dude. He's one guy I have to meet before I die. It's just like, you really inspired me. You know what I mean? But we were talking about the OC search, all right? We were talking about the OC search. Who do you like out of that crew? We were going through some of the names as well. We were going through some of the names. We were Waldron, Kubiak, Olsen, Cohen, Roman, Brown, Thomas Brown, Marcus Brady, okay, Cliff Kingsbury now. Who do you like?
I think my top 3 right now is Waldron. I bumped Cohen up. Surprised myself the other day. And I keep flopping between Cohen and Kubiak S2 and 3. I like that Cohen comes out of a Sean McVay system. What I like about Cohen is not only does he come out of that system, but if you look at the resume, his play calling experience and bouncing back and forth between the pros and college shows you or gives you there's a couple ways to do it. What am I losing?
I don't know. There you go.
Yeah. Shows you a couple ways to do it. It shows a diverse skill set and doing it in both college and the pros, but calling plays both. And I think that's what gives him the edge for me over Kubiak. I love Kubiak. Like you said, Roger Craig, man, you know what I'm saying? Kyle Shanahan is my coaching dude, bro. That's my coaching crush, man. I mean,
I feel you.
If you're going to find somebody to emulate him, bro. He does it all.
Yeah.
From a schematic standpoint. And that's what I like about Kubiak. But what scares me about Kubiak is, you know what I'm saying? And I'm willing to be totally wrong on this because I had it wrong with Mike McDaniels, but because Mike McDaniels didn't call plays in San Francisco, but he took off in Miami. So is Kubiak that kind of dude? He seems like Mike, a little bit awkward in personality, which I judged on last year. I said Mike probably needed a real OC stop before he made head coach, but Mike went to Miami and killed it. So, Waldron. Today it's going to be Kubiak second and Cohen after that, and then everybody else falls in line after those 3 guys. Pick one. I'm not a big Greg guy because of the concerns with the passing concept, so he probably would be 4th on the list for me, Greg or Roman. But I love Greg's run concepts. I love the power read. I love the zone read. I love the counters. I love all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Has he taken this time away from football to polish up those pass concepts? Because that's what got him fired at his last 2 stops, I'm told, or I read, right? He couldn't get that pass game going enough, but he also he was a coordinator for, I think, 2019 where Lamar got his MVP season.
Yes,
so,
he was. And Lamar threw 30, was counted for 30 plus touchdowns. All right. I think he threw for $3,000, ran for a stack as well. So that's one reason. And you know what, Coach? Maybe they're not. And here's something that someone else proposed to me. Like maybe they're not looking for to hire him. Maybe they're looking just for information. All right. And you just disguise it in an interview. Another theory was they're going to bring a couple. So they'll bring a run coordinator in, a pass coordinator in. See, like, okay, cool. Might be a little too many chefs in the kitchen. Okay. But if you can get concepts or ideas, okay, and say, okay, here's what I want you to do. Well, then, hey, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a heck of a lot of sense.
They should have put me on the board to consult, man. That's all I'm saying. I would love for them. I think I said this a few times, right? I hope what they did was put these guys on the board and Flus took them to task. He was like, I'm a defensive coordinator. You show me your best stuff. I'm going to throw up my responses to your best stuff. And you tell me how you're going to counter this stuff. Put them on the board, man.
Take you mean like Gruden did for the prospects coming out? I think that's a great idea. And I would imagine they would do that because I don't think they're just going to sit there. Because remember, he said you got to have to explain what you're going to do with any quarterback or 3 or 4 quarterbacks that that they potentially could have. Yeah, they have to do that. Like they have to. There's no way because I can't sit there and say, well, for a cover 2, I'm going to do this for this. No, I need to see it.
Yeah,
I need to see it.
Show me your cover 2 beaters. Show me your cover 3 beaters. Show me how you teach quarterbacks to respond to safety spinning in and out of the box. You tell me how you teach them because that's the hardest thing for a quarterback to recognize in coverages, right? They'll show single high safety. This is why I love I can talk ball to you, bro. I'm just having a moment right now. I that's the hardest thing in football, right? When you show too high safety and you spin the safety down into the box because you're showing too high safety, you're going 1 high safety man or cover 3, right? and vice versa. When you show the opposite, show me how you teach a quarterback how to read his way out of those situations. So he's sure, you know what I'm saying, before he snaps the ball, what he's seeing, because that's what it is.
And, and this is the thing that I talk about that people don't get. This is why, people talk about Justin couldn't have anticipatory throws, blah, blah, blah. And one guy said, he can't do it. You can't coach. I'm like, no, you can coach it.
Yeah.
I said, coaching, that's very simple. I said, because it comes down to tendencies. I said, we are all human beings. I said, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, and we all have tendencies. I said, so you say, okay, in third down in this area from the 40 to 40, all right? 67% of the time he runs this coverage. So which means I can run it all the time, but 2 out of 3 chances he's running this coverage in this. Now he might disguise it, and here's some of the disguises. So here's what you have. So when you give them that information, it's like, okay, now so you can help people with throws. You can help people understand, and you just walk through it. Here we go. Here's what he does. Here's what we see on tape. Boom. All right. When you see this, boom. Well, watch this thing. And the thing that people don't get is you pick up tendencies. You pick up people cheating. You see cheating, and they say, watch this guy. So if he comes up, he's most likely, because you never say always as a coach, he's most likely they're gonna, if he's a back and you see him creeping up there, they're gonna rotate into a single high and they're gonna go man free, or they're gonna go cover 3. So if you see that, all right, then you got to look here, you know what I mean? And then you work that way with him, and it helps with your quarterback. I don't feel that Getsy did that enough with Justin. Hey, you know what? I got to take a quick break. I got to walk the warden out to the car. It's a little snowy out there. We'll be back in about a minute and a half. All right?
Do it.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the Army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We're looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators. A passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds. Help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Every day we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
No, I can't. Right now, today, Caleb Williams' season is over. I have great concerns about a guy who is the face of the franchise at USC and came in here this season. I'm going to win 2 straight Heismans. That's all I heard about his camp. 2 straight Heismans, and he's getting whatever it is, $4 million in NIL money. You're not a college student. You're a freaking pro. And last week, another epic loss, and guess what he said? I'm not talking to the media. Yeah, bring that stuff to an NFL market, and you'll get eviscerated. Who the hell do you think you are? I want to know from everybody out there, what are you so afraid of? The ones of you that are clinging to Justin. Does not mean he's not a good player. Does not mean he's not a good guy. Why are you so scared to embrace the chase for greatness? There's this kid coming along that every one of the analysts, even guys that did this for a living in the league, that kid's amazing. Got to be developed. Of course he does. I want to keep Justin.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. This is courtesy of ESPN. That was Chicago's own David Kaplan, who was caught flip-flopping on Caleb Williams. And you know what? That's one of the thing, man. You know what? I have never wavered. And I told you, I'm not. Here's the thing that I don't get, people. Just because I'm pro Justin doesn't mean I'm anti Caleb. I don't want him buried. I don't want him burned at the stake. All right. He's not going to hell in a handbasket because I feel Justin's a better fit here. All right. So, and this is the thing that I can't stand, how people get so toxic, how this has really divided our fan base.
Right.
All right. But there's things that we were talking about. There's things that we see, Coach, that other people don't see because the experiences that they've had aren't the experiences that we've had in football.
Yeah.
And they have to understand that. And to flip, you know, and then this is why when people are like, you're crazy. No, I'm not crazy. Like, I don't have to get loud with you. I'm telling you what I've seen. What have you seen that's been? He hasn't thrown for this. He hasn't thrown for that. And I'm like, and you try to explain to people, but they're so adamant. People listen to respond as opposed listening to understand.
Yeah.
Talk to me about some of the media real quick about just like Cap flip-flopping, criticizing them. And you know, in the next, a couple weeks later, he's like, oh, this guy is going to be awesome.
Yeah, man, that was wild. And I wanted to give the proper credit to the one guy, Doug Dyer on Twitter, who posted, you know what I'm saying? See, by the way, Coach T gives people their props. So I stayed up to 2:30 in the morning and caught that Jalen Johnson and clipped it up and it went viral. And I was kind of a little bit irritated because I didn't get my props on that. So shout out to Doug Dyer for going back and doing the research and catching Cap in the trap, so to speak. I'm having a Dr. Seuss moment on the show. The Cap in the trap out here capping. Listen, man. Now, see, here's the way the media game works for all of y'all that don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know, ranting is a thing, bro. I just realized that this year, like, ranting is part of the media game. So it's almost like an act. You rant so you can get the likes and comments and subscribers or whatever you're doing up, because guess what? When you can't make when you don't do, you know, schematics and stuff like that, then you become part of the entertainment part of the base, right? And you have to do these rants.
And what part of the base? People don't get this.
The entertainment part.
Yes.
The entertainment part.
Yes.
Like, there's the entertainment part of the media that's strictly there for entertainment. Y'all see it all the time on ESPN with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is not the smartest football person in the world, but Stephen A. Smith goes into his, in his act, right? And I just think that's kind of what, you know, Cap is doing in the situation with the, what are you afraid of? That's the flip-flop, right? That's the flip right there. So not really taking it seriously, but answering his rant at the same time. Cap, you asked the question, people, what are they afraid of? Right? But at the same time, at the end, sneak in there that this kid needs to be developed. That's what they're afraid of. You answered your own question in the rant. The answer to your question is the kid needs to be developed. You said it in your own rant. So if he needs to be developed, how do we mix needs to be developed with generational and transcendent? I know every quarterback needs work, and they're going to need, you know, to be polished up into their system. But again, my comps for generational transcendent is Joe Burrow, Andrew Luck. I'll even throw Matthew Stafford in here, right? Went to a bad team.
Because he went to a horrible, man. He got swallowed up in Detroit. You don't want to watch that.
Went to a bad team, but he still bombed. He still was bombing and dotting teams up. You know what I'm saying? On a bad team. Those guys were NFL ready now. Full field read, reading defenses, And the problem again with Caleb Williams for me is there's not enough sample size in this heavy air raid, zone read, RPO offense that he comes from Lincoln Riley to say transcendent and generational. That's it. That's the take.
You know, and and guys, we're joined by Coach T. He's host of Chicago Bears 360. Make sure you check him out. All right, he's all over YouTube. He's growing, and make sure you follow him on YouTube. You know, talk to me about, you know, you mentioned the importance of it, and here's the thing that if Caleb comes in, Bears go with Caleb, and they get a new offensive coordinator, someone who understands, a good offensive coordinator, and Caleb plays well, then people are going to say, see, I told you, blah, 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 blah. Caleb is better. His floor is higher. His this is that. I sit there and I saw Adam Hoke say his floor is higher. I'm like, dude, stop. Like, I'm looking at all these people in Justin has done what Justin can do. Like, there's nothing, and I've said this before, Coach, and I've asked people here. I said, name something that Justin can't do physically that any other quarterback in the NFL can. Name one thing. Mm-hmm. He can throw. He can make every throw. He can 100 miles an hour. He's throwing it. He's put it in tight windows. Humpback line drives, fades, dropped it in the bucket. All right, scrambling backwards to his left, puts it on a dime. Going right on the move, puts it on a dime. Okay, and then he can run. So there's nothing he can't do. Think of how bad his coaching has been, and think of all the great plays we've seen, and there have been a lot of them. It just hasn't been consistent. What happens if he gets an offensive coordinator who holds him accountable and makes him consistent? How great do you think this kid could be?
I mean, listen, you need to have a response rant to Cap's rant, right? And the response rant is something like that, right? What are you afraid of? Right? You're afraid of, we might find out. We might actually get a competent offensive coordinator, you know what I'm saying, that knows how to design plays. That's the 4 pillars of offensive coordinator. Design plays, install offenses, game plan, and call games on game day. The 4 major pillars. What are you afraid of? And that guy might get with Justin, and Justin may become the guy that everybody, you know what I'm saying, thinks he and believes he can be. Even his own teammates, the guys in the locker room and other NFL players.
I was just about to say, Coach, it's not even his own team, bro. You got other people on podcasts talking about, man, Justin Fields, he ain't doing him right. Justin Fields, like, we don't want to play against him. When you got teams, dude, and everyone's talking about it, and you have fan bases say, oh, Justin sucks. Would you want him? Oh, yeah. You know damn well fan bases, about 15 to 20 teams at least would want him because of his skill set, because they know it hasn't been maximized. Right? Talk to me, though, about what kind of haul you think if they do decide to stay with Justin Fields. Again, we don't know what's going on. We're speculating. All right?
Well, yeah.
He hasn't called me yet. Let me know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm going to take a step back to your first question, too, and I want to throw this in here because you asked the question, you know what I'm saying, what is it what he can't do? You gave me an idea, Shawn. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna print it out. The you know what I'm saying, the typical, you know what I'm saying, Caleb Stan tropes out there that says, you know, he holds the ball too long. There's a list of things that they all repeat. It's year 3. Y'all list them in the chat with me because I'm gonna frame it. It's year 3. They always identify the record, which, you know, the record is not a quarterback stat. It's year 3. He holds the ball too long. Go ahead and list them in the chat because it's when you have these discussions, they always talk about the same things, right? And for everyone that people bring up, I have a football explanation and a schematics, detailed explanation as to why those things, you know what I'm saying, don't make sense and why even the consistency part of it. Right? And here's my analogy I always use, Shawn. If I write a 13-chapter book and 12 of the chapters are bullshit, incoherent sentences, no subject noun agreement all over the place, violates every rule of the English language, right? And I stick a chapter in the middle of the 13 chapter book, 12 of them are bullshit, and I stick a chapter in the middle. That's a well-written chapter, right? Do I blame the person reading the book and call them a poor reader? Because I wrote 12 chapters of bullshit and stuck one good chapter in the middle. Do I say they're inconsistent or poor reader because I designed or I wrote the book to be, I violated every rule of the English language? That's the equivalent of what's going on with this loop that happened with this loop. It's your job. Listen, guys, there's a coaching crisis going on in the NFL. Y'all can see it. Everybody needs an offensive coordinator. It's the hardest job in football. That's why guys can't. That's why they're firing guys in Philadelphia right now, right? Because they can't do it. There's about 13 offensive coordinator jobs open right now in the NFL. So I'm telling you this: if you got an eye for detail, you love football, right? You don't mind missing time with your family. And you know what I'm saying? And then you want to take, you know what I'm saying? You want to hit the powder. You know what I'm saying? You on the powder because some of those guys, they work so many. It's a joke.
They need to pick me up.
Crazy. Either it's no dose, bull, or they on the powder. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how much detail it requires. And Shawn mentioned it, right? When you're teaching the quarterback, you know, hey, here's the tendencies on third down, or when they show single high safety on third down, 90% of the time they're spinning out of it to too high, cover two zone, coverages, blah, blah, blah. You have to get in there and get the details and hand that to your quarterback so he knows, all right, I got you. He walk up to the line of scrimmage. Okay, you're showing single high safety. It's 3rd and 8. I know what coach taught me. They're going
to rotate out of it and blah, blah, blah. You know,
they rotate out of it. Here we go. I don't believe what I'm seeing. They're faking, right? And then you go to it. But again, these are football conversations. Yeah. These are schematics conversations. These are dudes.
Coach, talk to me about this one. And I like this a lot better. AC Adams said, I want to see Justin or JF1 strictly working under center at least 85% of the time. Talk about the advantages of being under center as opposed to being in the gun. Being as far as passes, as far as play action, as far as runs.
Right. It's as simple as this, Shawn. You know this. Hide the football. The linebackers, the safeties, the cornerbacks, the name of the linebackers and safeties, if they don't know where the ball is, they're going to be one step slower. So that's why you do it, especially in short yardage and the goal-to-goal situation. You hide the football when you're under center. When I'm snapping the ball from gun, it pops up in the air. Everybody sees where the ball is, right? You do that fake mesh and you put it in the belly of the running back. Everybody sees eyes on ball. What is the saying in defense? See ball. Hit ball.
Hit ball.
Yeah, well, hit ball. If I can't see the ball, go. That's why you do play action fakes, because I don't know where the ball is. You're trying to make the defense a half a step slower. So go under center. I don't know about 85% AC though. 85. That's a bit strong, bro. But I see where you're going with that.
And that's the thing when you have a guy like Justin, because if you have a defensive end, okay, crashing. See, when you're running an RPO or zone where he's crossing your face and that right, you're reading the right defensive end. He's watching the whole thing the entire time. Mm-hmm. All right, so he can come at you and easily and get ready to change his path. Yeah. But when you have no idea if that where he's going, and you know what I mean, and he fakes it, gives that ball hand, and you wait 1/2 a second with a guy like Justin or a guy like Lamar or a guy like Josh Allen, and they peel out. Man, that 1/2 a second that you waited is deadly and it's over. It's the first down, it's a touchdown, it's a whatever they're trying to get, because you have to wait because you don't want them to run. You'd hate for them to give the ball and then they run right inside you, right past you, and you're like, oh shit. I was looking at the quarterback.
Yeah. And then you're right. That's the added benefit of having somebody with Justin is so dangerous with the ball. By the way, for those that don't know, this is the crazy part that I don't get about people that don't understand the perspective of defending Justin Fields. Justin Fields, every game is accountable for 80 to 85% of the offense. Meaning, if I'm a defense scheming against our offense, all I got to do is focus on Justin 80 to 85% of the time. The problem here is we have backs that average over 4 yards per carry. Justin obviously led the team in passing, right? Which he's supposed to. He's a quarterback. But 2 years in a row, with backs averaging over 4 yards per carry, he led the team in rushing. What does that tell me? That's telling me that you're not properly sequencing your plays to make sure that the running backs are getting enough carries. Why are running backs getting 12 to 15 yards a carry and they're averaging over 4 yards per carry in a game? They should be in the mid to high 20s every game and take some of the load off your quarterback. I think that's going to be one of the major adjustments you see with the new offensive coordinator. He's going to not require Justin to do so much if he stays.
And when he does run, he's going to be more effective because you're going to be expecting the running backs to run, and that's the whole purpose.
Yeah.
To me, that's the entire purpose. If you got running backs, do you think Justin had long runs before? Man, if you keep going and giving these running backs, I say give each running back 15 carries. That's 30 carries again in the run game. That's 30 carries plus whatever Justin runs. You're coach.
I don't think you can beat us with our running backs getting 30 carries a game. I don't think you can be in the ugly football game. And I'm talking about in the ugly football game because a lot of fans think also the only strategy to football is to try to outshoot the other team. No, we can play ball control football. We could have played better ball control football, bend but don't break defense, and beat Green Bay in the last game of the season. We only lost by 8 points. Bend but don't break defense. And if we would have just controlled the ball and scored once, it's a one-score game. So you don't always have to outscore the other team. This was the mistake that Dallas made on Saturday or Sunday. They tried to outshoot Green Bay in that game, and Green Bay Matt LaFleur had way too much for him.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur's really good.
Guy.
as much as I hate that team up north, you got to give him his props, and he's good, and he's really good. And that's one of the things that that Jordan Love has been a huge beneficiary of, is being in that system. This is his 4th year in that system. He sat for 3 freaking years, 3 with the same play caller, regardless of Nathaniel Miles and our guy Getsy, and that shit didn't matter. He's still listening, and he still had the same play caller. That goes a long, long way. So I am, it's easy to see why Jordan Love is doing well. They got him some good receivers. I saw a clip somebody had yesterday on Twitter. Dude, his receivers are all 1st and 2nd year receivers. Yeah. So hey, Coach, I know you got to run. I appreciate it. Do me a favor, though. Do me a favor. Let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
That's what's up, man. Y'all know where to find me on YouTube, Chicago Bears _360 on YouTube, on Twitter. We did our first broadcast on Twitter this week, man. I was proud of that.
Oh, yeah?
That's right. So, and we're on Facebook, too. I have a Facebook channel. That channel is growing as well, man. We're expanding to more social media platforms, man, getting the word out there about, trying to get these schematics, our football folks, more visibility in this social media game, man. I love it, Shawn. I'm proud of the work you're doing, buddy.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Again, thanks for the save today. I truly appreciate it. And I got to talk football with my guy.
That's what's up, man.
All right, we'll talk soon, man. Hey, you have a great weekend, okay?
All right, you too, buddy.
All right, now. Guys, that's Coach T from Chicago Bears 360. He had a run. Man, I'm so thankful, grateful to him. He is able to come on in the last minute. If you didn't hear, one of the guys that I had miscommunication, I really should have confirmed it. I know it says Shawn and Maya in the morning, but he thought I wanted him to come on at 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, no. No. Man, I appreciate Coach T big time for helping me out and coming on and talking football. There's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff that, no, Marshawn, no. You don't want to be the quarterback all. No, you don't. But the thing is, there needs to be times when he is. Okay? There are times, and here's another thing. It helps with the timing. All right, if you have a 3-step drop, okay, that's got to come out. You got the ball. Your 3rd step at the top of your drop, that ball's got to be coming out. Or top of your drop, you bounce bounce one, and then the ball's got to come out. What is this? Okay, perfect. The warden got to CrossFit. I'm happy. I got to go pick her up after the show. I just think it's imperative. All right, these are all things in, and whether if it's Caleb, fine. Again, I am not anti-Caleb. I want Justin Fields here. I think Justin Fields would be the best fit for this team because here's the one thing that you have to understand. Justin Fields is a leader of men. Okay? He's a leader of men. This whole team is Justin Fields. You saw Jalen Johnson on the Keyshawn Johnson podcast, national outlets. You can't take that out of a locker room. You shouldn't take that out of a locker room because there's going to be a lot of other issues that are going to arise. Okay? A lot of other issues. And for me, my whole thing is whenever people talk, I want this, I'm tired. Aren't you tired of starting the new quarterback clock? Aren't you tired? Okay, aren't you tired of it? Because I am. And everyone says, well, you can't pass up on this guy. All right, he's generational. Oh, yeah? So are these guys. So is Jamarcus Russell. He's big. He's got an arm. So was Jameis Winston. He's big. He's got an arm. He won the Heisman. Look what he did at Florida State. So is Baker Mayfield. Oh, look at Baker Mayfield. So is Alex Smith. So is Tim Couch. These guys were generational too. And I'm not saying that Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. I'm not at all. What I'm saying is put some resources into this team. And people talk about, and here's the first thing. You know what people are going to talk about? We're going to talk about that after the break. I'll take a quick one. It'll be a quick one. It'll only be about a minute and a half at the most. All right, so don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. We'll have more Bears talk right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
To run for 17, back he goes, here comes Chubb, there goes the ball, touchdown, Jones will walk at the left tackle, time for Fields, now he'll accelerate to get the first down, great tackles, and he's off to the races, oh, he got a terrific block.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
This year, my mom got me the perfect
for 40 years. It's been hard to play quarterback because that's a tough place to throw the ball. And you built a pretty terrific defense, But, to me, that is bully ball 101. That environment should be bully ball 101. You should play to your environment and your surroundings and get back to being the biggest, nastiest bully on the block. And this is a draft that is loaded with offensive linemen. And I don't know all your needs like you guys do. You know it up close and personal. You see it. You've lived with some of the struggles and the mediocrity. But it sure appears to me you got a defensive-minded head coach that's got a lot of his defensive pieces in place. Now go capitalize like crazy on this draft capital you have to build that bully, tight end, tackle, guard, running back. I think in Justin Fields, you've got an amazing dual threat guy. So tell me why that team can't be built in the image of that team out in Baltimore.
So, and that's what I was going to say, Brock, and we're talking to Brock Heward, and you've seen Caleb Williams. You're in Pac-12 country. You've done his games. You know what a type of prospect he is. Knowing what you see from him, seeing what you've seen from Justin Fields, you're telling me stay with Justin, capitalize on the number 1 pick, and possibly trade down and build around Justin.
From afar, that is what I would say.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. That was those clips courtesy of ESPN. And that's Brock Heward, former Washington quarterback, University of Washington, right? NFL player. And we were talking, and he was talking, and that makes sense because of the conditions, because of a lot of things. But the one thing that I want to see, he talks about get some people. Get some. You've invested in the defense. Now invest in the offense. All right. I can't say it enough. And I know there's some people here who want Caleb, and that's cool. Okay, that's fine. We can agree, disagree. All right. I'm definitely not gonna come at you like some kind of asshole because there's too much of that nonsense. People calling you clowns and you're effing stupid. I'm like, okay, I'm stupid. It's great. It's great talking to you, idiot. The one thing that I like, and there's a couple of aspects to look at this from. Okay, you have to remember this is the NFL. It is a production. Okay. Coach T talked about the act, all right. Why Cap, is the way he is. Everything he's in character. All right, it's a show. If you don't believe me, remember the draft 15 years ago? Not really. Now it's an event. Now it travels. Remember the first 2 years they had it here in Chicago to see how is that going to work? And it as cold as it was, if you remember, about 5-6 years ago, as cold as it was, it still went over like gangbusters. So it's a production. All right, you need characters. You need characters. In the NFL, outside of the WWE, the NFL does a great job of marketing, okay, and drama. Okay. The one thing that I like, and here's another issue that people are going to come up with me for, and I'm okay with it. And I can rebut anything that people have against it. Think of the Hall. I showed you this on Wednesday. This is what we got for that number 1 pick. This is what we got. We traded the number 1 overall pick to the Panthers. Okay? We got DJ Moore. All right, we took over their first round pick. Okay, we got Darnell Wright. We took over their second round pick. Remember, that was a 10th overall pick with Darnell Wright. We got their second round pick. That was Tyreek Stevenson. All right, we got the 2024, this year's first overall pick. Remember, we were able to trade with Philly at that particular point to go down. We got Philly's 4th round pick this year. We still have the Panthers' 2nd round pick in 25. This is all from 1 pick. Look at the people who we have here and the contributions they've made. Look at these three guys, DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, Tyreek Stevenson. You mean to tell me these guys didn't contribute to this team, and in a big way? Yeah, they did. Big time. DJ Moore had his career high in receiving yards and touchdowns. Darnell Wright was it Max Crosby? Was able to block him with one arm. Tyreek Stevenson. I got to double check. I think both of these guys are all rookie. And then we still got the number 1 overall pick this year, a 4th round pick this year, and a 2nd round pick next year. So, with the hype that Caleb has, if you can get more than that, and you want to talk about building your squad, that's how you build a squad. That's how you build a squad. And everyone's on 4-year deals. Thanks to Cliff Stein, who just left town, who's no longer with the Bears, but he was the guy who started it. 4-year deals for everybody, not just the 1st round picks. And here's another thing that we're forgetting. It's entertainment. Remember, it's entertainment. Who's part of that who's part of the ownership group of the Washington franchise? Irvin Magic Johnson. Comes from LA. Showtime. What better way? The Commanders have been crap for a long time. All right, they've been crap for a long time. What better way to put asses in the seats than to get a hometown kid, the next generational quarterback, back playing for the Redskins or the Commanders? Okay? What better way to put asses in the seats immediately? Does it make sense? You're goddamn right it does. You're damn right it does. He went to Gonzaga in Maryland. And truth be told, I'm going to tell you, my college teammate, my good friend was his high school coach. Yep. My good friend was his high school coach, and I'm gonna get my guy on the show. We're gonna talk about him at some point. We're definitely gonna talk about him. But you get a kid from the DMV area, you get a kid who's labeled as generational, and he gets to come home, and revive that franchise. Come on, man. What did it do? What did it do for the Bulls when Derrick Rose came here? How did this city react? Because I'm telling you, I don't think Caleb sucks. I'm not saying he sucks. I've never said he sucks. I never said he's going to be a bust. There's a chance of it, but I never said he's going to be a bust. What happens if it goes and he plays well? It's going to be a while. Because they don't have much, especially after Ryan Poles fleeces him again. Okay? Well, he didn't fleece him. It was a trade. After Ryan Poles is able to get what he wants from them, because here's my thing. Either 3 first-round picks and a player, or, okay, maybe I'm asking too much to jump up one spot. Then give me 2 first-round picks and a player. 2 first-round picks and a player. And my players are in this order. I said it the other day. In this order, these are my players. Deron Payne. We'll take that big contract off your hands. Deron Payne. Nope, you don't want Deron Payne? Okay. Terry McLaurin. So now you have a legitimate wide receiver opposite of DJ Moore. It's not going to stop us from drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. too. Don't get me wrong, but this is what I'm asking for. Okay? Or Jonathan Allen. One of those three in that order. So imagine if we get Deron Payne. Just imagine. Do you realize there's our 3-tech? There's our 3-tech. We don't have to draft him. We don't have to draft him. Or what if it's Scary Terry McLaurin? You don't think that's going to be a problem for some people? Scary Terry, DJ Moore. You don't think that's going to be a problem? Or Jonathan Allen? These are legitimate possibilities. So, the haul you get, you're building things. And the thing also, if for some reason it doesn't work with Justin, it will. But if it doesn't, you have 2 first-round picks in 2025. You have 2 first-round picks in 2026. You can go get your quarterback then. But what they're stepping into, the situation that these quarterbacks will be stepping into, these rookie quarterbacks, will be so much greater than Justin stepped into. They'll have a defense. They'll have an offensive line. They'll have running backs they'll have a running game. They're going to be stepping into a beautiful, beautiful situation. I'm trying to find that picture of my guy and Caleb. I forgot what pictures it was around, so just bear with me. But that running back or that quarterback is going to be stepping into a phenomenal situation. And what if Justin Fields takes off, which I know he will? Justin Fields is a winner. Justin Fields is that dude. And people are going to say, well, what gives you that? Why would you say that when he hasn't shown it? He has shown it. He just hasn't shown it consistently. When you get a coach, a good offensive coordinator who's going to hold your feet to the fire, you get a good offensive coordinator who's going to work the details every day in practice, you get a good offensive coordinator who's not going to let you slack and going to demand the best out of you, you're going to get better. Justin needs to be coached hard. I'm getting the psychology of it, but he needs to be coached hard. He will respond. And if you ask why, I'll tell you why. But I'll get into the whole psychology of it. But here's why. His dad was a Marine. I didn't realize I knew his dad was a cop. I didn't realize he was a Marine as well. There's a lot of discipline in that house. And if you watch Justin, you've heard me say it here a lot of times, to his detriment, he's a good soldier. Tell me what to do and I'll do it. Okay? Well, sometimes he's got to come off and do his own thing and not just be the good soldier. He's got to be a leader and go against the grain. Ruffle some feathers a little bit. You know what I mean? Ruffle some feathers. But if you're not going to have him do that, you just want an offensive coordinator to say, hey, here, you come in and here's what I need from you. Man, let me tell you. You challenge Justin, he will respond. You know how I know? Do you realize how can I put this? How tough, I'll just leave it at that. How tough Andy Reid was on Patrick Mahomes. Do you realize that? Everyone's talking about, well, Patrick Mahomes is the new generation and this and that. He was tough on him. I read a lot about it and I was like, holy cow. He was tough on, I can't believe I can't find it. He was tough on Patrick Mahomes. What did Patrick Mahomes do? Well, now they're calling him the baby goat. Now they're calling him a whole bunch of stuff. He needs to be coached hard. And that's what we need. That's what we need. Because I'll tell you what, he will respond. And that's all you want. You want a quarterback to play his best. You want a quarterback to have his potential maximized. That's what you want. That's what we need. And that's what we're not getting. That's what we're not getting. Because I'm telling you, you get him, and I've said it all through Twitter. If you get Justin, a good offensive coordinator, okay? You get him a good offensive coordinator, I guarantee you he'll be a top 10 quarterback in this league within 2 years. Within 2 years, top 10. 2 years. He'll get us to a couple NFC championship games. I'm not going to say win us the Super Bowl because it's tough to win a Super Bowl. It's tough. There's so much that has to go right. Health, first and foremost. What if your left tackle gets dinged up? What if your tight end gets, what if your number one wide receiver gets dinged up? What if your stud defensive end gets dinged up? What if your stud, you know what I mean? There's so many things that can go wrong. There's so many things that need to go right in order for you to have a chance to win the Super Bowl. But I will tell you this. You get that coach, Justin's going to lead them to, we'll get to the NFC Championship game at least twice. At least. Because he's that dude. The throws he makes. The command he has in that locker room. There's nothing like it. People love him. He is well respected, well revered. It's going to be, and you know what? You can disagree with me completely. That's okay. That's more than okay. Because I know how this game is played. I know what it means in a locker room to have a leader. I know what it means. And don't throw stats at me. Please don't. You will immediately be put in that category if you want to throw stats at me. Okay? When you do that, that shows that you don't know football. That shows that you completely disregarded the fact that he got thrown to the wolves. No offensive line his rookie year with Matt Nagy, a lame duck head coach. You're going to overlook the fact that he got destroyed his first game against Cleveland, if you remember. 9 sacks he got hit with. Hit a whole bunch of other times. It's okay. You don't think it affects the psyche of a person? Then the next year he had Nagy then. And then the next year you come and you give him Getsy, who's learning on the job. Oh, yeah, by the way, you take away his defense. So his defense is giving up 33 points a game, and you want him to win games? When your defense is giving up 33 points, you expect the quarterback with no offensive line, with no receivers. Who's he throwing to? Pettis? Byron Pringle? EQ St. Brown? N'Keal Harry? Bayless Jones? This is his receiving core. Amir Smith-Marset. This was his receiving core. And don't jump, well, he had Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet? So that's your dude. Your number one dude is your tight end. Come on. So don't give me the 10-28 garbage. He is 10-28. That is his record. As a starting quarterback, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. Again, if we go with Caleb, I'm supporting the Chicago Bears. Leo, yes, people say field style is not sustainable, but Allen Mahomes used their athleticism to extend the play every drive. Yes. The only counter to that I have is that they got to start calling these goddamn late hits on Justin Fields. He's getting hit far too much. You saw who got the call the other day? Was it Matthew Stafford? Jared Goff? One of those guys slid, guy hit him, he gets up, he looks at the refs, here comes a flag. That hit, and I posted it on Twitter, I posted it on Facebook, and I tweeted it out. I said, Allen, I think it was Josh Allen. Allen gets that call, but Justin doesn't, ever. Because we've seen how many times him going down and people jumping on him. People are chasing him and they fall on him. Don't give me the shit. Oh, they're moving too fast. They can't do. Oh, yes, they can. Oh, yes, they can. They can fly over him like other people do. But people, for whatever reason, they don't give Justin, they don't give him those breaks. But imagine how deadly he would be in the run game. Going under center more. Having linebackers and defensive ends pause a second or two longer instead of attacking. Imagine. So, and people ask what I see. I'll tell you what I see. I see a guy who literally can do everything. I see a guy who's made every throw. I see a guy who's looking for help because he got DJ Moore. He hit him for 1,300 yards. And don't be like, well, Tyson Bagent threw some. Tyson Bagent, he and DJ Moore had averaged like 50 yards a game in those 4 games that Tyson Bagent started. So stop it. So stop the nonsense. Stop the nonsense. You know what? I'm going to find it. I'm going to put it in the folder. Next time I'll show you. This is really annoying the bejesus out of me. Because I have it in here. There's a picture of my buddy with Caleb Williams holding the Heisman in New York. I had it because I showed it to somebody the other day, but the way the pictures are brought up here on StreamYard on your phone is different than. But anyway, yeah. I am more than confident that Justin is going to be that dude. You just need to protect him. And I love everyone's, oh, well, first he needs an offensive line, then he needs receivers, then he needs an offensive coordinator. Yeah, you do. Crazy idea. You do. You do. And then Adam Abdallah said something really stupid the other day, and that's another thing that bugs me. When people say dumb shit, because they have a platform and they say dumb shit, and then other people regurgitate this dumb shit. He said everything has to be perfect for Justin Fields except Justin Fields. And I'm like, you know what? I don't understand the Justin hate. I don't. And here's a crazy idea. You're all sitting here saying, hold on. Here, Leo. People say field style is not sustainable. Allen Mahomes uses it. What happens if Lamar wins a Super Bowl? What happens if the Baltimore Ravens win a Super Bowl? So you're going to tell me now that running style isn't sustainable? That running style, and let me tell you something. I'm taking this, and I have to give credit where credit's due. This is Dan Orlovsky. Dan pulled up something, and I was like, holy sheesh. He is so right. I don't know if it was Get Up This Morning that he did it. Or what. But it was, and the way it was worded carefully. It was worded carefully. And here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen if Lamar wins the Super Bowl. Baltimore's got a great shot, do they not? Let's watch this. What they said this morning.
Lamar has to go win the Super Bowl. Winning MVP no longer matters. Getting to the Super Bowl does not matter. I think, and hear me when I say this, Molly, Kimberly, Stephen A., and everybody, this is not pandering. This is not caping. This is the dead honest truth. And there's a little bit of insight to this. People that sound, or players that sound look and play like Lamar Jackson were never supposed to win Super Bowls in the NFL. In people's eyes, they were never supposed to win Super Bowls in the NFL. You weren't supposed to be able to stand on the podium and sound the way that Lamar does when he talks, or look the way that Lamar does when he talks, or play like the way that Lamar plays and win a Super Bowl. You might be good. You might win an MVP. There's people in the league, and they have publicly said, I don't care how many MVPs he wins. He will never win a Super Bowl playing quarterback. I don't care what they say. I think Lamar is very aware of that. I think Lamar is very aware of the, no matter what I do, until I win a Super Bowl, people are always going to think that I should have played running back. And that people that look like me, or kids that look like me, or come from the background that I do, or sound like I do, can't go play quarterback and win a Super Bowl in the NFL. Here's the thing for me, Stephen A., Kimberly, and Molly. We've had other black quarterbacks win Super Bowls in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes has won. Russell Wilson has won. Doug Williams has won. But when we hear those names at quarterback, we think throw first. We think a thrower or a passer first. We don't with Lamar. Most people think runner with Lamar. Most people think of athlete with Lamar. And for him to go win a Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, it completely changes the narrative around Lamar. It completely changes the narrative around that position when it comes to players that look and sound and play like Lamar, not only for people that are close to his age, but kids that watch Lamar. And I think their organization's very aware of it. I think their head coach is abundantly aware of it. And I think Lamar is very unapologetically aware of it, that he can't just get there. He has to win it.
So if he goes and wins a Super Bowl, what will people say about Justin? What will people say? You can't win with his style? You know, interesting take. And I think Steve, Orlovsky, and I like Dan Orlovsky. I think that was on point. I think it was great. You know, and again, for me, I understand completely why you go draft Caleb Williams. I get it. I understand it. He's generational. He can do things that only a certain number of people can do. But I don't buy it. I understand why someone would go along those routes. Yeah, I'm glad you caught some of it, Arturo. I understand why you go down. Believe me, I understand completely. But see, when I'm telling you my point, it doesn't mean that I'm disrespecting yours. I get why you go with Caleb. I get it. You restart the clock. You have more money. You do this, okay? Not necessarily all true, but I get it. All right, you want to happen the newest toy, the newest. We never had this opportunity before, ever. We never done this before. Never done this before. You know, shit hasn't been done. Things are impossible until they're done. What did Kevin Garnett and Adidas say? Nothing is impossible. Or impossible is nothing. Sorry, impossible is nothing. So you can go end up trading the first pick, overall pick, 2 years in a row. You can. You can do that. And when people talk about his money, don't worry about his money. First of all, he's not going to command $50 million. He's not. You work out a 35-ish, and unfortunately, he might not make the money of the 40, 45, 50 million that Patrick Mahomes makes. Okay, Patrick Mahomes has 2 Super Bowls, a couple MVPs, pretty damn good. But if this guy is a leader of men, this guy is a leader of your team, and these guys fall in line for him, you got to pay the cost of admission. Which is why I said budget him. Pick up his 5th-year option. Which means it's only going to be 23-ish, 24 million in 2025. It's only going to be that. So you still have money. And think of all of the draft picks that we have. We had 3 draft picks last year. I'm sorry, 2. And DJ Moore. We got 3 players last year. So you know what Darnell Wright's going to cost. You know what Tyreek Stevenson costs. You know what DJ Moore costs. If you get that same haul, you get 3 more players. A couple picks and then 1 more player because he's going to ask for a specific a player. If we get 3 or 4 more players, you don't think that can fill any hole? This is what I'm saying. So when I get what you're saying when you say draft Caleb. I get it. I personally don't feel he's generational. I don't. Okay? It doesn't mean I think he's going to be a bust. It doesn't mean I think he sucks. Doesn't mean I think he should be thrown in jail. No. Again, pro Justin doesn't mean anti Caleb. I think Caleb can have a great career in the NFL. Great. Especially if he goes back to Washington. Especially if he goes back to Washington. Hometown boy, I told you. Hometown boy, put asses in the seats. He's around his peoples. Maybe bring that franchise up to respectability, get him to the playoffs on a consistent basis. Like I said, look what it did for the Bulls when Derrick Rose came here. When Derrick Rose came here. That is why I think Washington and the Bears trade. The hype. Yeah. I know you, Brandon, you're saying something that you're comparing their styles. Their styles. They were talking about that you can't win like that. You can't win with a quarterback who runs. Yeah, you can. Hell, you almost had it with the 49ers and Kaepernick. If it wasn't for a great throw in the back of the end zone by Baltimore, Kaepernick and the 49ers win. It was a great game. You're right. The Good Old Boy Network and the stereotypes, if you shut down, you know how you shut them down? You win for them. You win for them. You win for them. Why do you think there's so many athletic quarterbacks now? Why? Because you've seen all the progress that they've made. It's only going to be it's only a matter of time. No, like Orlovsky said, you don't think of Patrick Mahomes as a running quarterback, but he can run very well. He ran on a broken ankle. It was sprained. It wasn't broken, but I exaggerated for effect. Lamar wins a Super Bowl. Those stereotypes are gone. See how many more athletic. I mean, they're still drafting athletic quarterbacks. Yes, you still want your drop back, but here's the crazy part. You're getting quarterbacks who can drop back and pick you apart from the pocket and run a 4.4. His name is Justin Fields. He's been inconsistent over his 3 years. Can't deny that. Won't deny that. But who's he had to throw to? Who was blocking for him? Who, what? You can't look at his circumstances and compare him on an even playing field with other quarterbacks who come in with a solid offensive coordinator, with a solid plan, with a solid offensive line, with good receivers, young or veteran. You can't do it. So when people say, so this is the frustrating part, and this is why once you get that dude, that dude meaning the OC, it's going to be tough. I think the Bears bared themselves when they said, "Oh, well, you got to keep Chris Morgan." Really? You want a great offensive coordinator to come here and say, "I can't even bring my offensive line. The person who's going to make my offense run with my protection, I can't even bring my own guy?" That, to me, was a mistake. So let me ask you this. If you expect, well, first of all, he's 1,300 yards. DJ Moore had 1,300 yards, and Justin Fields missed 4 games. And before you go the Tyson Bagent route, he averaged 54 yards. He had 200 yards receiving in those 4 games. Okay. Cole Kmet is not as, yeah, he's a good, I think he's a really good tight end. Don't get me wrong. I still want to draft Brock Bowers. He's not a guy that you build a game plan around. DJ Moore is a guy you build a game plan around. Teams had to know where he's at every single play. So, yes, you have one good player in DJ Moore. And I'll tell you what, you at Mooney was MIA. What do you have, 400 yards, 500 yards this year? So DJ Moore, that's the dude. There's nothing else. Times you couldn't get in the ball because he's double covered, he's bracketed, he's not 6'5". If he's 6'5", like I'd throw it up. Like he's Brandon Marshall, I'd throw it up. You saw Cutler would throw it up all the time to Brandon Marshall. Like, dude, there's 3 guys. Oh, great pass, Jay. Because Brandon would catch it. But DJ's only 6 feet. Why? J2K, Walls of Jericho, why did you think that was a good move? Because when you're an offensive coordinator, you want to bring your people. You want to bring the people that you're comfortable with. All right? Because your scheme requires a certain block. Your offensive scheme requires a certain blocking scheme. And I don't want to have to teach this offensive line coach my blocking scheme. Because he's learning it. He can't implement it the way I need it implemented. Like my guy that I want to bring over with. I did too. They just couldn't connect. No, everyone didn't say they had more receivers than the Packers. We really only had DJ Moore. Well, no. DJ Moore, Darnell, those were the 3. DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, and Cole Kmet. We were hoping Bayless Jones could take off. Remember? Man, if Bayless Jones could take off, man, whew. Bayless Jones, all right, second year back. Okay, there's a lot of ifs. And Nomad, you put it right. So you're really only looking at 2. I'm sorry, 3. You're expecting 3, and you got 2. We were very happy. And he didn't pan out. He didn't do well. He dropped touchdown passes. He dropped touchdown passes. Like, come on, Papa. Like, there were so many different Packer people that fucked things up for us. Lucas Patrick. Like, dude, are you a double agent? Tunyon, are you a double agent? Jetsy, are you a double agent? All these people from the Green Bay organization who are screwing things up for the Bears. I wouldn't say a lot of ifs. And here's the thing. Here's why I say that. We've seen him make every throw. We've seen him do everything. The one thing that we need to see him do is lead a touchdown drive in the fourth quarter. Other than that, he's escaped pockets. He stepped up and thrown tutties. You saw the one to DJ Moore, okay, against the Lions in Detroit. He rolls left, backs up left, can throw right. And I've mentioned it. Humpback line drives over a linebacker in front of a safety, in between 3 guys. some soft touch on here. I mean, everything. No, it's just got to be consistent. So the if, Brandon, is if he can be consistent. Well, I saw he was consistent in high school. He was consistent in college. What stopped here? Nagy and Getsy stopped him from being here. Listen, I'm not even talking better receivers. Yes, give me here's why. What if he gets better receivers? What if he gets more O-linemen? What if he gets a better OC? Yeah, you said all three today, and we've been saying it since he was drafted. Yeah, he needs it. Get it for him. Get it for him. Get it for him. Give me a quarterback who doesn't have an offensive lineman, who doesn't have a good offensive line. Give me a quarterback who doesn't have good receivers. How many drops? We just talked about Tunyon. How many drops did he have? EQ St. Brown last year, 4th down. Like, I'm not asking for all pros. I'm not asking for all worlds. I'm asking for competent receivers. I'm asking for young, scrappy, good, hungry receivers like Jaden Reed, the guy in Green Bay. Like, individually, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, and Jaden Reed, who's a rookie this year. Those two were second-year players. Individually, they're good. Together, they're great. Give me some good receivers. I'm not asking for another DJ Moore. I'll take it. I'll take a Marvin Harrison Jr. But I'm not. Give me a Terry McLaurin. Give me someone who knows how to run a fucking 5-yard route when it's 3rd and 4, not a 3.5-yard route and get stopped before the sticks. You name me any team that's good. You name me any quarterback that's good. He's got receivers. Most importantly, he's got a quarterback guy. He's got a guy. He's got a quarterback guy. And that's what people I don't get. Is this it? No, that was the other one. That's another thing. Defense can't be giving up all these damn points. No, I took that off. Fudge. You know what I mean? You can't give up 30 points and expect to outscore people. Can't do it. When we're asking for better receivers, we're talking about because the receivers are dropping the ball. We're talking about because receivers can't get separation. We're talking about receivers are bobbling the ball at the goal line. We're talking about receivers trying to get extra yardage, get the ball stripped out of their hand when they should be stepping out of bounds. This is what we're talking about. This is that the receiver is that coaches. So maybe we need better coaches. I'm not asking for the offense that Jay Cutler had. Remember, Jay Cutler, that offense, every single person on that offense had gone to a Pro Bowl or was going to go to a Pro Bowl. Every single person. But what happened? 6 coordinators in 8 years. Matt Forte, Marcellus Bennett, Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall, John Tate, Olin Kreutz, Kyle Long, all these guys. But you kept changing systems every time. But I digress. I don't even think we need more O-linemen. We're okay. I think Braxton Jones is serviceable. Again, his ceiling for me, if he makes that a similar jump to what he did last year, his ceiling for me is an above average left tackle. Not a gold jacket winner, not an elite, not a great one, an above average left tackle is my opinion, is where his ceiling is. And that in the NFL is great. So we don't even need more linemen. I just want to move Tevin Jenkins to the right side and Davis to the left. Nasty Nate Davis to the left, but that's another story. I want Jenkins and Darnell Wright, but another story. But if I had to get one thing of those three you mentioned, B, give me the better offensive coordinator. That is what I would want. That is what will make this a whole lot better. for me. I understand, B. I understand. Do you understand why he hasn't been consistent? Like the things that were. So with Coach T, I mentioned some things. If you watch the tape, we got about 8 minutes left. When you watch the tape, okay, and this is where I talked about why I like talking to Coach T. Nomad, he's in chat room as well. He was a Division I football player as well. He was on the defensive side of the ball, though. He was a DB. But he'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? Pass protection and route combos have to be married. All right? I think I've said that like 700 times. But people, if you haven't played at a high level or coached at a high level, you don't understand that. Okay, you don't. What does that mean? I'm glad you asked. You can't take a 3-step drop and run intermediate and deep routes. Can't have your quarterback do that. You can't have your quarterback take 5-step routes and run slants or hitches or quick outs. There are far too many times that Justin hit the top of his drop and receivers hadn't gotten open yet. Okay? Or were stuck in zone, blanketed by a guy. So now what is Justin supposed to do? And I am not absolving Justin from his mistakes. He has missed people in the seam. That seems to be his Achilles heel, hitting people in the seam. He's hit them for touchdowns, but he misses them a lot too. Okay? He misses them a lot too. And I gotta make sure that B, what are you doing? $700 on Justin Fields jerseys? What? You're a fool, Papa. Dude, you should have told me I got a guy. Get a knockoff. It'll come right from China. Don't worry about it. $50. Come on, man. You know I'm from Chicago. I got a guy. Before you spend any more jerseys, and they sell all teams' jerseys, let me know. His inconsistency was due a lot to the fact that the coaching was poor. Okay? The receivers can't, if there's no one to throw the ball to, what do you expect them to do? If they're getting no separation, what are you expecting him to do? But yet he was told, you got to win from the pocket. Remember, like they told Mitch, you got to win from the pocket. So he's holding the ball, hoping these guys get open. You get it right. Let me tell you something. Let me ask you a question. I've said this before. Coaching is nothing but teaching. That's all coaching is. We're teaching you football. He has been inconsistent. And part of that is his drop. Part of that is his footwork. I'm not going to absolve Justin. I'm not saying Justin is the perfect quarterback, the best quarterback ever built. No, he needs work. He needs coaching. He needs coaching. I'll give you guys this analogy again. If you get a Ferrari, you and your 16-year-old son, and you tell your 16-year-old son, go drive this Ferrari. He just got his license right before you got the Ferrari. The day before, he just got his license. Brand new driver. And he drives that Ferrari. Especially if it's manual. I know everything's automatic now, but if it's manual, you don't think that thing's he's gonna stall? You think he's gonna jack up the clutch a little bit? But then we get in. If you know how to drive stick, fine. You think your son's taking curves? He's turning corners at 35 miles an hour? No. Would we? Hell yeah. We're gonna try it because we're gonna see. I'm in a Ferrari. I want to see how it operates. And the moral is this. The Ferrari can still do all these things. It can still go a buck 80, 200, whatever. It can still hug curves at 35 miles an hour. It can still do that. But it's not getting maximized by a 16-year-old driver who just got his driver's license. It's getting maximized by a veteran, by us, who've run from the cops, who've gone through, who've run from people, who've chased people, who've done, our generation is a little crazier than the newer generation. I was driving at 12 years old, but that's neither here nor there. So the Ferrari has all this capability. It's got to be maximized. And what people don't do, I got to credit Mike Tomlin. You don't hold coaches accountable for coaching. That's their job. Why is Justin Fields' drop still so shitty? Because Luke Gessie didn't demand his drop be tight, his drop be quicker, his drop be sharper. That's not demand. I coached quarterback for 2 years, and that was the first thing that I did. Your drop. So I've told you this before. It's either coached. Everything that happens on the field is either coached or allowed. And with Justin continuing to have those shitty, slow drops, throwing off timing, I have to assume it's allowed. I have to assume. But listen, I'd love to go. I'd love to do that. Exactly. This is why coaching. But I also, and here's where I Justin, you got to go get you a quarterback coach. Eric's been on here. Eric, get your people in touch with his people. I got another guy. My guy, Greg Holcomb. He's J.J. McCarthy's personal quarterback coach. He's been his personal quarterback coach since he was in 6th grade. Yeah, get him and work on those things. That's what he's got to do. I'm not absolving Justin from his areas of deficiency. No, not at all. Because let me ask you a question. You live in the Bay Area. You put Justin Fields on that San Francisco 49er team. How different is that San Francisco 49er team to the NFL? How different does that team look with him calling the shots? You know what I mean? Because there's no one on God's green earth who's going to take Brock Purdy over Justin Fields and drop him into San Francisco system. None. Bingo, Leo. Bingo. That's what we need. That's what Justin needs. Junior, you're a damn fool. Driving at 9. Hey, listen, 2 hours is come and gone. Man, I want to thank my guest, Coach T, for coming on, talking with me this morning. Man, it was great stuff. If you missed it, it was an impromptu thing. I had a guy coming on at 10. It was miscommunication. He thought I was asking him to come on at 10 at night, and he said he couldn't come on. I was like, come on. So I reached out last minute. Coach T was on. I want to thank him a lot for coming on such short notice. I really, really appreciate it. I want to thank you guys. This chat was lit. B, timing is issue. That's coaching. That's coaching. You know what I mean? That's coaching. Don't run away from holding coaches accountable for doing their job, for coaching. As a defensive coordinator, when things happen, I'm like, what did I do wrong? Okay, they didn't do this. They're hitting this gap. all right, I need to make sure on practice we work on this because that's just not going to happen again. But listen, guys, you have a phenomenal weekend. It's supposed to get warmer here in Chicago. I think we're getting the last of the snow today. It's supposed to warm up 25. I mean, 30 tomorrow. Man, it was minus with the minus 3 or 4 with the wind chill. Because you had Jimmy Garoppolo back then. You had your quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. You thought he was going to be. They thought he was going to be it. Don't say nag, go loco. You had Jimmy G back then, and his chiseled jawbone. They're like, nah, we got it. So listen, you guys have a They did. It's a good question. I don't know. That I can't answer. Well, listen, you guys have a phenomenal weekend. Enjoy it. We have our cousin's Christmas exchange tomorrow. We couldn't do it before Christmas because everyone's got families and they're doing their own thing. And then after there's someone on vacation. So we're finally getting it in tomorrow. It was supposed to be last week, but the snow. So I got my Christmas stuff. They thought Trey Lance could run it better, and what happened? They were wrong. They took Mr. Irrelevant. They took the last dude in the draft, and he's doing a much better job. So what if they had taken Justin Fields? They're people. They make mistakes too. They're people. So Mr. Irrelevant beats out a first-round pick. And the thing is that he had the coaching. Sometimes maybe they wanted to run away from the coaching. Maybe say, okay, I want a guy who's coached in this already, so I don't have to go back. We don't know what the reason was. I don't. I'll tell you what, a lot of Niner fans would love to have him. I mean, not so much now because they won the NFC Championship last year, went to the championship last year. I get it. But anyway, guys, have a phenomenal weekend. All right? I'm going to have a great one too. I love the conversation, and I love the fact that we differ on different shit. It happens. You see things your way, I see things my way. We're cool. All right? It happens. It happens. And I like the fact that we don't insult each other here because we're fucking adults. We're not children or petulant brats. All right? I love it. And I think and I know that's why this is the best morning Chicago sports talk show ever. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you tell your friends. Get them to tune in. All right? Even if they have to listen to it. We have the app. You can listen to it on your phone. Listen to it on your computer. All right? Behind another screen while you're working. Whatever. I appreciate the love and support that you guys give me every single Mickey Ficky show. I'm grateful and I'm humbled by it. All right. So we'll see you on Monday. Same bad time, same bad channel, 9 a.m. to 11 Central Time. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, Elliot Baez, our executive producer, Clarence Council III, our social media guy, my co-host, Adam Central Maya. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. At 12:15, we have Second City Sports coming up with Lakina McGee and Sydney Brown. This show is going to replay at 8 p.m. tonight. On my personal page on Facebook, our Sports Zone Chicago's Facebook page, our YouTube channel, our mobile app, and our Roku channel. So it'll replay tonight at 8 p.m. Central. Okay? So, again, for everybody here, all right, just make sure we keep it clean. We'll check it out. We'll Google it. We'll Google it we'll see how it plays out. Guys, you have a wonderful, wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and we'll see you Monday. I got to go pick up the warden at a CrossFit class. I'm out.